Now, it's your forecast first from Storm Team 9.
Well, outside today, definitely not a bad day of weather. It's a little cloudy right now, though, but those temperatures are still nice and warm. We're at 86 degrees in Goldsboro, 86 degrees here in Greenville, 84 in Kinston, and 83 degrees down in New Bern. Current local radar is looking nice and quiet this evening, too. We have no rain here in eastern North Carolina. All of the rain can be found off to our south and east, and even out west where there is some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, too. But we will have more details on the tropics coming up, and for tonight, those temperatures will be in the 60s. Tomorrow will be in the 90s with lots of sunshine, and we'll also talk about a hot and sunny Father's Day weekend coming up. The longest running newscast in the East starts now.
On your side, this is WNCT 9 News at 6.
A big sports week in our state continues. It is day 4 of the Big Rock Blue Marlin Tournament, and today is the official start of the U.S. Open, and we are covering it all for you. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here for your news at 6 o'clock. I'm Courtney Courtright, and we have team coverage for you tonight. Ken Watlington is live from Pinehurst covering all of the action at the U.S. Open, but we start with 9 on your side's Erin Jenkins. She's live in Morehead City. Erin, a quiet day there at Big Rock Landing.
Out of 302 votes.
Yeah, Courtney, I think you and I and Ken actually saw most of the action happen on Monday and Tuesday of this week when there were 4 big blues brought in total over those 2 days, yesterday and today. We have not seen any of the Marlins come in. Today we had about 56 boats out on the water trying to catch one of those out of the 302 total boats in this year's tournament. But because there were no Marlins brought in today, that means that our leaderboard remains the same for the heaviest game time fish. Game Time is still on top with their 516-pound blue marlin. Right behind them is Release with their 504-pounder, and Builder's Choice is in third with a 431.8-pound marlin. There are still 2 days of fishing left, so plenty of time for that leaderboard to change. We're seeing a few more game fish brought in right now at this time, but we're going to check back in with you at 6 o'clock with more details about a special program here at Big Rock. Live in Morehead City, Erin Jenkins, 9 on your side.
All right, Erin, thank you. Now let's turn to golf now. 9 on your side's Ken Watlington is live in Pinehurst for the U.S. Open. Ken, lots of excitement over there, too.
There's no doubt about that, Courtney. Perfect conditions for this first round of the 124th U.S. Open. Crowds starting to file out now after a really good day of golf. It is the first U.S. Open here in about 11 years, only the 4th all time. The first one happened back in 1999. So they've played 4 U.S. Opens here in the last 25 years. Right now, the first round wrapping up. The crowds, as I mentioned, are starting to file out. But earlier today, this place was full of golf fans. Some 250,000 spectators are expected here at Pinehurst number 2 over the next few days. We saw about 40,000 estimated here at the U.S. Open today alone for round 1. And what a venue, Pinehurst number 2. It's one of the most famous golf courses in the world.
It's really cool. I'll be honest, I'm not a golf fan really myself, but to get thrown into the middle of it and really embrace it and fall in love with the sport in a matter of hours has been a lot of fun, and it's really cool just to see the whole state come out for an event like this and to really take part to support the best golfers in the world. This is really cool for the state of North Carolina and for this region as well.
And as we were out and about on the course today, we saw tens of thousands of fans taking pictures, enjoying the fan zone, buying merch, and of course, watching some of the best golfers in the world compete. Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, and a couple of legends like Phil Mickelson and the great Tiger Woods. Just some of the golfers folks came out to see here in round 1. As for the action on the course in round 1, it's just wrapping up. We do have a leader in the clubhouse at 5 under par. Patrick Cantlay shooting a 65. Will that hold up? Remains to be seen as we have 3 more days of golf here to play at Pinehurst. Sports anchor Zach Kaplan is here as well. We'll have more coverage of the first round live in sports coming up in about 20 minutes. But for now, we're live at the U.S. Open in Pinehurst. Ken Watlington, 9 on your side.
All right, Ken, thanks so much. In your crime tracker tonight, a Camp Lejeune Marine is charged in connection to the murder of a fellow Marine. Officials say Jesse Bomp will face a trial for his possible role in the shooting death of Lance Corporal Austin Schwenk. Say it happened on base last October. Both were part of the 6th Marine Regiment at Camp Lejeune. The trial will start on November 4th. In Washington, police say a 17-year-old is in jail for his possible role in a murder. Investigators say it happened back on May 10th. They say they were called to Pontiac Drive for a shooting. They say when they got there, they found out the victim, 19-year-old Raquela Barrow, was taken to the hospital where she later died. Investigators say they then found out the shooting actually happened on Maple Street. The 17-year-old is now charged with murder. To New Bern now, 3 people are hurt after a shooting last night. Police say it happened just before 10 o'clock near Windsor Park Apartments. They say they didn't find any victims there, but they were called to Carolina East Medical Center for 3 people shot. All 3 were then taken to ECU Health Medical Center in Greenville. If you have any information about this shooting, you're being asked to call New Bern Police. And let's stay in New Bern. Take a look at this video. Police say the person walking up to that porch is stealing packages in the Lake Tyler subdivision. They say this person is driving a blue 4-door car. You can see it right there in the background. If you have any information about who this might be, call New Bern Police. Also, head over to our website to see the advice police are giving you tonight to help prevent this from happening to you. The Greenville City Council is meeting and they could vote on the budget for next year. Let's take you inside now. Live look right now at City Council. It started minutes ago. Some people are in favor of the budget. Others are concerned about the tax increase. We asked city officials where the money from the tax increase could go.
It's a little bit higher, the property tax rate, than what revenue neutral would be, but that $2.9 million that's generated by that additional funding, more than half of that goes to public safety, which we're real proud about. Other parts go to infrastructure, things that are very important for the community.
Now to your sides, Davis Supis is at tonight's meeting. He will have a recap on your late news here on WNCT News at 11. New developments tonight from Carteret County. The county school system is appealing a judge's ruling that they cannot start school on August 13th. We told you about this decision last week. Parents filed a lawsuit in April against the school calendar, which put classes starting before August 26th. According to state law, that's the earliest a school can start. State Republicans are talking about putting several amendments to the state constitution on the ballot this November. They're talking about putting them into one bill to vote on before the session ends. One would change the wording of the Constitution to say only U.S. citizens can vote. New polling from the conservative Carolina Partnership for Reform shows support for lowering the cap on the state's income tax rate down to 4%. It also shows support for the citizens-only voting amendment and others, including term limits on state Supreme Court justices.
I don't know that I can say which ones we might actually take up, but we have had some conversations about a number.
Another possible amendment would repeal the literacy test, which was used during the Jim Crow era to keep black people from voting. As temperatures rise, your car will get hotter and hotter too. As on your sides, Gabby Sartori reports health experts tonight have a warning for you.
On average, every 10 days, a child dies from a heat stroke in a car. In more than half of these situations, the caregiver or guardian forgot the child was even in the car. Today, advocates for preventing heat stroke and heat-related injuries are making sure people know the risks and dangers of hot cars in the summer.
We're already at 114 degrees and we're cooking s'mores on the dashboard of this car to demonstrate how hot cars can get. It's only 86 degrees outside, but it's like an oven, literally, in the car. And that's the purpose of the s'mores, is for parents to realize how hot cars can become.
Law enforcement and local organizations join forces to encourage parents to be vigilant. Since the year's begun, careless errors have caused 2 deaths.
It's really a problem. Heat illness can happen quickly, particularly in pets, particularly in older people, or in children.
While children are left in cars unattended, people oftentimes forget their pets.
The number of pets that die in hot cars far exceeds the number of children and people that die in hot cars. So it's just so disturbing when you go and you see an animal suffering, panting for air and water, that somebody forgets, oh, I didn't know it was going to be gone that long.
Young children will always be at risk for these situations because their bodies heat up 3 to 5 times faster than in adults. Organizers stress that these situations are preventable but are far too common. In Greenville, Gabby Sartori, 9 on your side.
Still ahead here on WNCT 9 News at 6. We'll go back live to Big Rock Landing and check in with Aaron Jenkins, how service members are getting in on this year's Blue Marlin Tournament.
And up next, your complete Storm T9 7-day forecast will have all the details about what you can expect for the upcoming Father's Day weekend.
Coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News, Florida's streets littered with floating cars as residents in the Sunshine State brace for more intense rain. The travel delays and destruction as the governor declares a state of emergency. That and more headlines tonight on the CBS Evening News.